Listen my voice,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you are audible.
So I will start my session. So as introduced by Shubham, my name is Ahmed Khan and I am planning engineer and BIM coordinator for Nagpur Mumbai Samruddhi Super Communication Expressway. And the topic for my today's presentation is application of building information modeling in construction industry. Okay. So our today's session will be divided in three parts. Before starting the session, I would like to give a short summary about me. After that, our main presentation section, then a short Q&A session. So starting with my summary, as introduced by Shubham, I am planning engineer and BIM coordinator for Afcons Infrastructure Limited. I am working on Nagpur Mumbai Super Communication Expressway, where 5D BIM is implemented for monitoring, controlling, and planning of all the activities of the project. Before joining Afcons, I have worked with Pedco India Private Limited, where I have worked on Mumbai Metro Line 3. Mumbai Metro Line 3, there is also implementation of BIM. So I have worked for BIM implementation there. Then I have also done an academic project on topic named as evaluating benefits of integrating BIM framework into construction practices. Since last 3 years, I am actively working on BIM and I have published 2 international research papers on BIM. So this is my short summary. Here's my LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me on my LinkedIn. I regularly share details about BIM on LinkedIn. So coming towards our session, so the outline, this is the outline of the session, today's session. First, I will introduce you all about BIM. Then before starting with BIM, fundamental of BIM, there are 3 fundamentals. We will be discussing them in detail. After that, a general workflow for BIM and conclusion. So starting with the introductory part, here's the definition of BIM provided by Autodesk. Autodesk is the flagship owner of the BIM process. So here's the definition. Building information modeling is an intelligent model-based process. It is an intelligent model-based process. Like in Civil 3D or any other 3D softwares, we create models, but those models are not intelligent models. In upcoming slides, we will be seeing what is the difference between an intelligent model and a general model. So it is a model-based process. It is not a software. It is a process that gives architecture, engineer, and construction professionals. What we call here is AEC professionals in short. So this process gives insight and tool to them to efficiently plan, design, construct, and manage buildings and infrastructures. So here you can see the areas where BIM is applicable. It is applicable everywhere from designing, execution, operation, and maintenance of a project. Okay, then these 3 letters BIM, BIM. So I would like to explain the 3 letters BIM in a short brief details. So BIM, B for me, B stands for residential, commercial, infrastructure, or any like healthcare buildings. It might be an infrastructure project, commercial project, or residential project. Coming towards the information, in our construction project, there are various information. For example, the spatial information, like at what coordinate your project is placed, the dimension details of the various sections. For my project, current project, Samruddhi, so there are viaducts. So what are the details of the bridge? What are the size of pier, foundation details, those components containing which kind of material, and quantities of those materials. If I have a like foundation, so how much quantity of concrete, steel will be there. I can provide the details to the model itself. Then schedules. Usually in a construction project, we prepare schedule using Primavera, MSP, or sometimes Excels. So those schedule can be linked with your model, and based on your schedule execution, your model will like simulate a like a construction process virtually to you. Then there are various elements like beam, columns. Those elements information is also there in information model. Then coming towards M, models. So there are various models like site. You take site, we prepare model of the site itself, like initial geographical detail for finding out the quantity of cutting, filling, and all those details. Then there are architectural models, how the your like structure after completing, how it will look, what details are there. Then structural details, how much reinforcement, how many beams, columns, locations of them will be covered in these models. Then MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, sometimes we also call this as HVAC. So MEP system, for MEP system there is a separate model. Then based on the BIM model, we can also simulate the sustainability. Like if I am creating a model, like I am going to construct a building using certain materials, so how those materials will react when like they are impacted with natural environmental conditions, heating and cooling, how they will behave. So this will show that. So before starting for any BIM project, one should know three fundamental of BIM: levels of BIM, LOD, and dimension. I will start with the levels. So levels are the maturity of the process. Like we are adopting a BIM process. So someone might ask you up to what level you are working. So if I say I am working on a level 2, so what it indicates? And usually if many of you are reading about BIM, so you might read that industry is working on developing level 3 BIM. So what is all those things? So we'll start with level 0. Somewhere around 1990s it was started, and it was a basically 2D CAD based process. So drafting will be done using 2D CAD, and the circulation or sharing of all those drawing and details will be done using printed papers only. There were no like electronic availability were there. Then after that we developed, we evolved. Coming towards like 2000s, in starting of 2000 we developed a level 1. So in level 1 there were 2D drafting and 3D CAD models. There were CAD models, not BIM model. There is a difference between them. So CAD models were used just to represent how 3D in 3D the structure will look, and the data sharing was done using electronic like emails or any other sources. Currently our BIM industry is standing at level 2. So level 2 BIM, we use 3D BIM models. Okay, intelligent model, those models are intelligent models. All the details related to materials, schedules, cost, and sustainability, all the aspects are linked to the model itself. And for sharing those models, IFC and COBie formats are used, exchange formats. What is IFC and COBie? As I already said you that BIM is a process. So there are various software on BIM platform. Previously, if someone has prepared a 2D model or 3D CAD model using AutoCAD or 3D Civil, if he or she share that model with someone, then the next party should have the same software and same like version of that software to access that. So interportability was not there. But in BIM, if I have like consider Revit or Navisworks or any other BIM software, I have prepared a model. Now someone wants to access that model in Synchro or Tekla BIM Insight, then I can share that model in IFC format. So it is an international sharing format, industry foundation class. IFC stand for industry foundation class. 2 by 3 is generally used for sharing the model. So once I share the model, regardless of model prepared on any of the platform, you can access the model. Level 3 model is still not yet fully developed, but research is going on to develop level 3 models. So here is the brief like how level 3 BIM level 3 will look like. So in BIM level 3, there will be open data standard and exchange like CDE. If you have heard about common data environment, so level 3 will be totally based on common data environment. For a new beginners, or like those people who those know little about BIM, for them CD is like a cloud computing system. You can consider there will be a cloud where your all models will be stored, and you can perform any actions or simulation in the cloud itself. You need not take your model in your system to perform. You can perform everything in the CD itself. So due to this, the load on your PCs, computer will be reduces up to a large extent. Currently, if I am implementing BIM and I am using BIM models, I will be requiring a very high configuration computer and internet. But when I am working in level 3, when level 3 will get fully developed, I might not require a high, like very high configuration PC. A normal PC will do also. So these are the levels. So moving towards our next fundamentals, there is level of development. So levels indicates maturity. A level of development indicate precision level. Up to what precision one should rely on the model. So as I have written here, LOD is a BIM representation that represent the precision level of model. LOD represent the precision level, and it is used to measure the service required. Like if I say to someone X guy that I have prepared the model up to LOD 350, so the guy can extract the quantity details, dimensional details, location details from that model, as the model contains various information with it. So basically, what information should I derive from a model, up to what extent, this LOD specification will show you. The LOD specification will range from 100 to 500, and in simplest way, it can be like, as I said, it defines what kind of data can be derived from a model and what is considered as correct. Okay, so in details, various LODs are here. For LOD 100, we generally call it as a conceptual model. There is no much difference between a general CAD model and LOD 100 conceptual model, because only general details are provided to that model. No graphical details like non-graphical informations are attached to that model. Then coming towards LOD 200, graphical details are attached to that models, and few other details are also attached. So this is a schematic design model. Then detailed design, LOD 300 deals with detailed design, all detailed design aspects. I'll be covering all these three, like five, six sections in upcoming slide. This is just a brief guideline to you all. Then LOD 300, as I said, is detailed design. Then 350 for construction documentation. There is no much difference between LOD 300 and 350. Then LOD 400 will provide you the fabrication and assembly details. Like if you see these three pictures of LOD 300, 350 and 400, you can concentrate over over here. This pipe conduit here, like it is passing through the wall, but it is showing it as a like clash. But here there is a space is provided for passing through the pipe, and in LOD 400, like it is shown that it is not a circular pipe, rather it is a like rectangular arrangement which is passing through your wall. So this is like basic details variation between models. And LOD 500 will replicate your as-built model. When you construct your model on actual construction site, and how it will look, how it will behave, all those things can be simulated based on LOD 500 models. Then this is just a representation of general joint arrangement of a structural steel, steel structure. So this is LOD 3. This is how a joint will look on a LOD 300 level. Then this is LOD 350. Here another angle sections, a gusset plate, all those basic details are attached. Then fabrication details, like here you need to provide fillet weld, here you need to provide lug angle, here bolts will be inserted. So all those details will be like provided in 400, like fabrication and assembly detail model. Then now I will like just go into a brief about this LODs, because LOD are the most important thing one should know in a BIM process. because understanding a BIM model will require LOD details. Okay, so LOD 100, what is LOD 100? It is just a graphical representation. Okay, it represent like how your model will look. It is a rectangular structure, it is a circular structure, or it is a hollow circular. The parameters like area, height, volume, location, orientation, all those are imprecise. Like they are just like representations, not actual, not rough values, just representations. So it is a very rough, it is a very rough consideration. Then moving towards LOD 200, LOD 200 is a graphical representation. Along with that, non-graphical informations like dimensional details and all those things can be attached to the model itself if you are developing model up to LOD 200. Then LOD 300. In Indian industry, currently we work up to LOD 300 model specification. So what is there in LOD 300? It represent graphical information and specify like quantity, size, shape, location are precise. You can derive the quantities from this LOD 300 model. If you have developed a BIM model, I will give you example. Consider I have developed a BIM model for a G+1 residential building, and I am preparing the quantities, like I am preparing the quantities for that model. So if my model is up to LOD 300 maturity level, precision level, I can derive the number of screws required for fixing the handles also. So this much precision it works. You can find out the precision up to this level. And as in BIM, there are various disciplines like architectural, structural, and MEP. So all those models have something spatial coordinates, like my plinth level will be up to a certain height, my sill level will be there, my slab will be some to up to a certain height, and my AC duct is also passing through same level. So consider if my beam a structure beam and my AC duct is contradicting or collapsing with each other. In 2D drawings, I am unable to find out that thing, but in 3D BIM, you can perform clash detections, and you can find those clashes and mitigate them at the design level itself. So if you want to perform clash detection, you need to at least achieve LOD 300 specification. Then this is a representation for 300, 350, 400. I will be representing a example for construction industry, how it will look at 300, 350 and 400. So this is a column. See, this is a 2D representation, frontal view of a column. This is how it look like in LOD 300 specification, and this is what it is look like in 3-dimensional. It is a 2-dimensional BIM model. It is a 3-dimensional BIM model for column. Now, when I move toward 300, these are like, this is example of T-beam, this is iGirder. I will be sharing this presentation with all you guys, so you can read all this information, what element should be included in a 300 model. Currently I am not going into much details, but based on this representation of pictures, you can see what details are there. All dimensional details are there. There is a hunch, so you can see there is a hunch provided, and it is properly covered in LOD 300 model. Now, once we completed LOD 300, moving towards LOD 350, there is no much details between LOD 300 and 350. As I said earlier, only the support and connection details are additionally provided in LOD 350. So a LOD 350 model will look like this. See, previously when I have shown you the LOD 300 models, the rebar details, the reinforcement details are not visible there. But when I have reached up to LOD 350 maturity, rebar details are available there. Now look at the iGirder and T-beam. See, for iGirder, all the stirrups, vertical bars, horizontal reinforcement. For inward beam, this is the lifting point. These are the connection plates. This is the base plate. All those details are included in LOD 350 models. Now moving towards our next point, like LOD 400. Then LOD 350, all those details. Then what is there in LOD 400? In LOD 400, as I said, fabrication and assembly details are there. So here LOD 400 model will look like, see, previously stirrups and or vertical reinforcement, tie bars, here like tie bar details, binding wire, fixing details were not there. But assembly details are, all those things are now covered in LOD 400 model. For this, you can also see there are like fixing, supporting in reinforcement, assembling arrangement are totally shown in 400 model. Then, as I said, LOD 500, it is a as-built model. LOD 500 models are generally used for operation and maintenance purposes. Okay. Currently, all over the world, LOD 500 modeling is still in its conceptual stage. No one is implementing it in a full-fledged way. LOD 500 is not being implemented full-fledgedly anywhere in the world, but only few specific projects like special projects are there where LOD specification up to 500 have been achieved. Now, two fundamentals are already covered: level of BIM, level of development of BIM. Now, moving toward the dimensional details of BIM. This is the last fundamental one should know about BIM. So, there are like currently there are 7 dimensional of BIM. Some of the researcher defined it as up to 12 dimensional also, but for me and most of the researcher, 7D is sufficient enough to cover the all available aspects of the construction industry currently. Okay, so initially all these three, one dimensional, two dimensional and three dimensional, everyone knows about them. So I shall start with 4 dimensional. So what is a 4 dimensional BIM model? As we have seen, we prepare 3 dimensional BIM model. So in a 3 dimensional building information model, a column, building column knows I am a column, a door knows I am a door, and wall knows I am a wall. So when I am placing a door over a column or a slab, it will not allow me. It will show that this structure, this element cannot be placed because this cannot be placed. Please mute your mic. So in 4D time modeling, it shows it cannot be placed over wall. If I am providing windows on the ground surface, it will not take. So it is an intelligent 3D model. So all those elements like beam, column, slab, footing, staircase, then all those arrangement, when we have planned, if I consider an infrastructure project, footing, pier, pier cap, pedestal, eye girder, deck slab, all this process will be linked to its schedule. All we know, we prepared a construction schedule while executing the construction process. So all those things will be linked to the 3D model and it will become a 4D time model. It will simulate the real time execution of the project in your computer system. So you can find out where I may find difficulties. So you can plan accordingly. Then 5D cost model. For 5D cost modeling, for 4D BIM, 4D time modeling, when we attach or link the cost of all those processes to the model itself, it will become a 5D cost model. What we do for all those elements, like if it is a EPC project, there is billing on running meter basis. There is a payment schedule based on which we receive the payment from the client. So all those payment schedule will be linked to your 4D model. And once you complete this much number of foundation pier, you will be receiving this much billing. So it will indicate this much amount can be incurred up to this time. So it will show you the real time cost estimate. It will helpful for finding out cash inflows, preparing your S curve and on value analysis you can do based on this. Then 6D, it is based on the performance. As I said, sustainability analysis, heating and cooling analysis, sun path analysis, all those analyses are there. If you visit my LinkedIn profile, there are research paper detailed published on this 6D aspect of the BIM. So you can read in detail what is 6D aspects of BIM. Currently, Indian industry, 5D BIM is the like most implemented thing, and we have stopped up to 5D. We have not started yet 6D anywhere, but a small part of 7D, that is facility management, sometimes we cover. Like for 7D, there are Kobe sheets. What 7D is do, like consider I have installed, like I have developed a commercial or any building facility. So all arrangement like my ACs will be there, my or electronic systems will be there. I have constructed, being a contractor or a like execution party, I have constructed, and I have installed all those things. But maintaining all the warranty details, all the expiry details of all those, and maintenance time, duration, maintenance, like we have, like for vehicles, we know two-wheelers, we have certain due date to maintain or like service our vehicle. So likewise, a building facility also have a service due date. So all these service due date details are attached in 70 facility management detail. So once your due date is reached, you can service it and make it proper. Otherwise, during the execution phase, multiple collapse of various facilities might take place. So 70 is used for that. In like this is used basically for operation and maintenance purposes. Okay, because I have installed certain assembly. My client will not be knowing what brand it was, what specification it was, and if he want to replace it after 10 or 20 years, so he might not be knowing the exact details. So in 70 facility management, all those specification will be attached to the model, so that during the operation and maintenance phase, one should know about the details. So completed, I have completed all those three fundamentals. Now moving towards our general BIM workflow. So this is a general BIM workflow. It was part of my research. What I said, it was part of my academic research. It was developed by me. It represents a general workflow. So we will start with implementation. Imagine any client has decided to implement BIM. So in the beginning, he need to prepare a employer's information requirement. What is a EIR? EIR is a contract document for BIM. Like for executing a project, we develop a contract document. So for executing BIM, we develop EIR. So basically, EIR is a contract document. Then BEP, building execution plan. So BEP is an answer to that EIR. Client provide EIR, and based on that, contractor or the party who will be executing the work will prepare a BEP, building execution plan, in which he will be satisfying all the requirements of the client. I will be going into EIR and BEP in detail in upcoming slides. For now, you just consider it like EIR is a contract document of BIM and BEP is answer to that contract document. Then once our BEP is approved and it is okay, we start developing our model. So before developing model, we develop families and all those details are there, but I am not going into much details now. So you just consider, after BEP is approved, we start modeling process. First, we generate a 2D model. So 2D BIM model is also an intelligent model. There is no much difference between generating or like preparing a 2D model or 3D model. I just need to prepare a 2D model. It will be itself as a 3D model. I will be showing you how it will be. For 3D models, there are 5 disciplines. Generally, there are 5 disciplines like architectural model, structural model, mechanical model, electrical model, and sprinkler model. All those models, consider, as I said you earlier about the AC duct and my beam. So my AC duct will come under my mechanical model, and my beam, structural beam, will come under structural model. So the level of my beam and AC duct are at same. Like I am providing my beam from 3 meter from the ground clearance will be there, and my mechanical model will show that my AC duct is also at 3 meter. So on site, actual construction site, during execution, those two components might get conflict. and it is not possible to pass a AC duct through the beam. It is not possible. So at that time, the rework will be there. To avoid those rework which will be happening due to 3D CAD drawings on construction site, we perform clash detection at the design phase itself. Once clash detection is done, my model is find okay. I will quantify my model, find out the quantifications, quantities, and segregate them. Like how much quantity of steel will be there, what diameter will be there, what grade will be there. Like these type of segregation and quantities. 12 diameter steel, how much tons? Concrete of M30 grade, how much M cube? So likewise, I will quantify them, and based on that, I will prepare my time cycles. Based on those time cycles, I will prepare my construction schedules. My project schedule is ready. Once my project schedule is ready, as preparing a project schedule is a part of BIM workflow, but there is no software for preparing uh, scheduling on BIM platform. There is no software for scheduling. We need to incorporate Primavera, MSP, or Excel, or might be other softwares also available for scheduling. So we need to take help of those softwares for preparing a schedule. Once the schedule is prepared, we can link those schedules to our model. In certain softwares on BIM platform like Synchro and Naviswork, we can prepare the schedule also, but it is a very tedious process. So it is not recommended at all. I will recommend it to prepare the schedule in Primavera or MSP. Primavera is the finest software for scheduling. If you are adopting BIM, then once your schedule is prepared, it is found okay, you can integrate or link your elements with the schedule. Consider I am doing a bridge project. So I am planning some foundations in the month of January. February will be there, March, April, likewise. But in monsoon period like June, July, and August, there will be no work or very little work due to the monsoon situation. So there will be no work. So I can link my foundations with those schedules. So it will replicate that from this duration to this duration, there will be no work. Again, after monsoon, my work will start. So which foundation I need to tackle? So it will help me for generating monthly work plans. After that, my 4D schedules, once I link, integrate schedule with 3D model, my 4D model is ready. Then after that 4D model is ready, I may link my cost, what cost I may incur if I do 1 meter of tunneling or if I do 1 meter of road work. So based on the unit rate, I assign the rates to all those models. After that, a 5D model will get ready once I assign all those costs. I will show you a simulation for both this 4D and 5D. Okay, so for now you just consider 4D and 5D like this only. So going in a little bit detail, because BIM workflow is very much essential. Many of my like connections ask me on LinkedIn, sir, what is the general workflow for BIM? How should we understand the process? From where we should start? What should we do first? So this is the workflow while working on BIM. After that, this is EIR. As I said, what is EIR? EIR is a pre-tender document setting out the information to be delivered, what information is to be delivered, and what standards and processes to be followed. Currently in India, for preparing EIR or any other thing on BIM, there is no standard specification. This is one of the major reasons why BIM is not being implemented in India. If governments of India made it mandatory to use BIM, then it will be very good for infrastructure and building industry because it will increase the efficiency and productivity. Then for preparing EIR currently, as our most of the standards are derived based on British standards. So currently in India, for preparing EIR, we follow UK PAS 1192 second part, which is published in 2003. Also, BSE and ISO 19650 we follow for preparing EIR. These two links I have provided. You can take a screenshot of this or you can write it down, or I may share this presentation after this session so you can read in detail about preparation of EIR, how to prepare them, how to consider the aspects while preparing EIR. So briefly, these are the areas which are covered in EIR: technical areas, management areas, and commercial areas. For technical specification, which software platform you will be using, the data exchange format. Like I said, there are data exchange format, IFCs are there, COBIs are there, but there are certain, like if you exchange IFC 2x3, it will be hold good for everywhere, but you are going into very much details, like you are going up to rock bottom. So there are few other more specification data exchange format in which you should share your model. After that, coordinates, level of detail, as I said, level of detail in general, level of detail of the component. Like if I am preparing a building model for all those my utility services like drain lines, service lines, I may not to prepare up to LOD 350 or 400, because in BIM process, if I am preparing a LOD 100 model, it will cost me around like 10,000 rupees. For example, if I am going up to 200, it might cost 50,000, 300, 10 lakhs, 350, 50 lakhs, 400, 1 crore. So likewise, it is increasing very exponentially. So the details matters. So it is very necessary to define which details you need to take LOD up to a higher level. And for landscaping, LOD 200 or 100 is also fine. But for beam columns, LOD 350 is required. So likewise, you need to decide. There are few standards like LOD beam forum is there. You can write it down, LOD beam forum. So yearly they publish LOD specification. For this LOD 100, what details you should consider. For 200, what details you should consider, likewise. So these are the technical specification. After that, management, standards, stakeholders, all those details, coordination, clarity detection, I said. Health and safety plans, like HSE, environmental health and safety, is very much essential for a construction project to complete it with zero LTA, lost time injuries, which is considered very good, and which is essential because every life is important. So in management aspect, it covers all health and safety aspects of BIM. Then compliance plan, all those things are there. Then commercial, timing of data drops, strategies, your strategies. Likewise, if I am considering COVID-19 impact in my BIM model, that will be reflecting in the commercial area of my EIR. How COVID will impact, like force measures are there, all those things. And deliverables, when you will deliver this, like there are milestones now. So for BIM model delivery also there are milestones. Up to this 6 months you need to deliver up to LOD 200 model. After that, in 1 year you need to deliver 300 350 model. Then you need to deliver simulations, clash detection, likewise it is there. So I think everyone is covered, like everyone is clear with EIR. So I am moving towards my next part, that is BEP. So as I said, billing execution plan, it is a plan prepared by supplier or like contractor, and it will show how the modeling aspect of a project will be carried out, how a client, a contractor or consultant will be doing the modeling, what details he is be considering, what coordinates, what models, what softwares, what LOD specification levels, and all those things you will be able to see in BEP. And as I said, it is an answer. BEP is an answer for EIR. Again, I have provided some links for studying about BEP. This is the finest link, Penn State BIM Execution Plan Guide. It is the one of the oldest guide available, and it is revising every year, and it is very good if you want to prepare a BEP. Then moving towards next section, our preparation, model preparation. As I said, 2D model, BIM is a process. Again and again, I am like concentrating on this because when I interact with my Indian colleagues or my LinkedIn connections or my professional networks, they consider building information modeling as a software, and they think Revit is BIM. No, no, no. Revit is not at all BIM. BIM is a process, and Revit is one of the software on BIM platform, as Revit is most used currently in Indian construction industry. People think that Revit is BIM. No, Revit is not BIM, and it is very necessary to provide LOD specification to your model. I have prepared a model using Revit for all you guys to represent how a 2D model look like. So I will be showing those models after I discuss this process. Then again 3D model, there is no much difference between 2D and 3D model. Once you are done with your 2D model, it is itself is a 3D model. You just need to change the view in your software. As I said, there are 5 categories: architectural, structural, mechanical, electrical, and sprinkler. Then there are various discipline of BIM, as I said. So these are the models one by one based on this discipline. This is the architectural model. This is a 2D architectural model. As you can see, I have prepared this using Revit 2017. On BIM, we work on levels, like on ground level, level 1, level 2. You can consider like this. In conventional CAD based process, we use layers. We work on layers. If you are like good with AutoCAD, you may knowing that there are layers in AutoCAD. Likewise, there is levels in BIM. This is architectural model 3D view. Okay, this is 2D view and this is 3D view of an architectural model. Again, this is 2D view of a structural model. This is 3D view of a structural model. Then this is a sprinkler model. All of you might have seen the firefighting system. So firefighting system consists of various piping arrangements. So what happens when my mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system is there? As my plumbing system is included in my MEP model, so there are pipes. So in Revit or any BIM software, while doing modeling, it is difficult to differentiate between those models. So what we do, we prepare those models separately in separate files, and after that we view all of them in coordination view. Here you can see I have opened it in coordination view. So in coordination view, you can link all those models based on their XYZ coordinates. The models will place and get over each other, and I can find out the conflicts. So for differentiating between MEP pipes and sprinkler pipes, generally in industry, MEP models are developed separately. Then again, this is what a 3D MEP model look like. If you like zoom on this, there are sprinkler arrangements are there here. I will be showing you a 3D like walkthrough of this model, which I am showing. So you will be getting an idea of all those things. Then what I was talking about, this is the 3D walkthrough of that model. Okay. I think all of you are able to see this. Okay. So I am moving towards my area. This is general or hotel building. Okay. All those details I have provided. The color of all those materials are based on their specifications and colors which I have provided to you. Okay. As you can see, every details are visible there. Sunlight, as I said, heating and cooling analysis and sun path analysis. So it is replicating natural sunlight. If I construct my building, how my natural sunlight will enter my building, at what time lights will be there, and what time I will be needing artificial lights, all those things will be there. Here, if you can see here, these are those my sprinklers which I have like attached, and this is my smoke detectors. These are my lights. All those details are there. Okay. Then I am entering one of my room. See, this is how a LOD like specification model look like. Here all the arrangements are there. Coloring, quality, sunlight analysis, all those things are there. Okay. So now we are moving towards our like terrace. As I said, these red lines are arrangements of those sprinkler systems. So now we are moving towards our terrace. So you will be able to see all those firefighting arrangements. Okay. So here, once we reach the terrace, generally our all firefighting arrangements will be installed at the terrace. So here you can see, this is the supplier conduit. This is like pipes, all the pipes arrangements are there. So these all details are there, and those all models are developed separately, and they are linked together in a coordination view. And now how it is look like. See, Afcon's infrastructure is working on BIM currently and previously also for various projects like Nagpur Metro, Ahmedabad Metro, and if you may heard Chenab project in Kashmir. It is one of our special projects and is our flagship projects. For Chenab, we have used this modeling. In Chenab, there is a deep valley, like about 150 meters, and we need to connect a R structural steel bridge. This is the longest and highest structural steel rail bridge in the world. So from two ends we have started the work, and we need to connect one end to other end with zero errors. So for that we have developed a model, BIM model, using Tekla BIM inside for that project, and this is how my model look like. See, this is all my joint arrangements, where I should place my rivets, my bolts, where the welding arrangement will be there, where are the bracings, what are the rafters, railing arrangement. All those details are already simulated in detail before the actual execution, and we are executing the project. And I am very happy to inform you all that we are matching both of our side with zero error using this BIM technology. So it is helping very much. So as you can see, as I said, there is a deep valley. Here is the deep valley. We are working from both ends, from here to here. So the half portion, this side, left side, we have started from here, and half here, we have started from here. And we have matched it with zero error. So it is a very much like good thing for us. Then moving towards next, as I said, once our model is good, all the modeling is done, we need to check, is there any clashes between my various discipline like structural, architectural, MAP, all those things I need to check. So for those, I perform clash detections. So there are two types of basically clash: hard clash and soft clash. So before going into clash detection, one should understand what is a clash. Clashes occurs when the spatial coordinates of the building, like spatial coordinates. Why I am mentioning spatial coordinates? We have three-dimensional coordinates X, Y, Z. So if my plumbing ducts or my pipes are passing through my walls, not passing through the openings which I have provided, so they are conflicting their spatial coordinates. So they might get conflict with each other, and during execution, I may need to do the rework. So to avoid that rework, I will perform and simulate the clash detection as the design phase itself, and I will resolve all those clashes. Based on that, my GFC drawings will be prepared. So due to this, the rework at the actual execution will get reduced or completely eliminated. So moving towards the clashes, there are two clashes: hard clashes and soft clashes. What is a hard clash? I am telling that my AC duct will pass through my beam, below my beam, and there should be a minimum clearance of 500 mm. But there is a clearance of 300 mm, not 500 mm. But those two elements are not conflicting with each other. Just the clearance is not proper. So it is called as a soft clash. Here you can see my pipes are going below my ducts, so I need a clearance original as per drawing like 100, but it was 50. Then I have performed the clash detection and I find out this, and I have prepared a new design by implementing the revision, and now it is 100. So this is a soft clash. Then this is how a hard clash look like. If you see this sprinkler discipline model, pipe conduit pipes are passing through my AC ducts, which is not at all acceptable at construction site. Here also you can see this was happened previously because we used to prepare the 2D model. So in 2D model, it is very difficult to imagine all the pipes considering their levels and their like details and coordinates. So generally during execution, it was a common practice that you need to rework or redesign. But if you adapt or adopt the BIM process, it will be eliminated completely at the design phase itself. So huge amount of cost can be saved. Again, once our clash detection is done, we do quantifications based on those quantities. We prepare our time cycles. Those time cycles, based on them, we prepare our construction schedule. So those construction schedule will be mapped with our model. See, here is my model. These are the columns. So currently I am mapping. This is my schedule. As you can see, there is a bar chart. This is my schedule. And this is my element. I have selected the element. Reason why it is reflecting as green. The color might be anything. It is user defined. I have taken it as green, and clashes I consider them as red. Okay, green signals. Okay, red, there is an error. Likewise, I consider them. So I have selected this column element, and now I am linking my schedule with my column so that my model, when I simulate, will simulate me the actual picture. In our project Nagpur Mumbai Samruddhi Super Communication Expressway, the project scheduling is to be done by stage gate method. There is a task for all you guys: study about stage gate method. What is a stage gate? You read about them, so you will get to know about it in detail. Okay, so project schedule will be prepared using stage gate. This is how a 4D simulation look like. If I pause for a while, like if I pause the video, okay, at a certain time frame, you can see here my all the like duration, my day 52, week 8. This is the progress what I am getting, and on that particular day, this much progress I should get. So while preparing the monthly work plan, weekly work plan, daily construction plan, these models will be very much helpful to find out what elements to be tackled and how to execute them efficiently. Okay, so for that 4D models can be prepared. This is a quick, I have put like it on 10x, so it is moving very fastly. Okay, so now my final finishing arrangements are coming. My walls, my windows, my, yeah. Okay, so this is how a 4D simulation look like. This is a very basic 4D simulation which I have prepared using Navisworks for you all guys. But a detailed 4D simulation is prepared using Synchro or Navisworks. Navisworks is not a very powerful tool for 4D simulation. You can use Visio, you can use Synchro or other software like Vico Office are there, and many softwares are there in market for 4D simulation, which are based on BIM platform. So moving towards our like 4D simulation is done, completed. This is our 5D simulation. Okay, see how our 5D simulation will look like. I have paused my video somewhere here. So until now, I have completed my pier work. My pier cap is ready. All my like eye girders are in place. My deck slab is in progress. So on Friday 23rd, days 162 of the week, this work progress has already completed 37%. And for executing this work, this much is the cost I have incurred. Same, likewise, I have assigned the cost. I can prepare the turnover also. Generally, in EPC project, we deal with the turnover. How much cost have generated for this much turnover? So cash flow statements, all those things. Considering these models, all the analysis, value analysis and S-curve generation can be done, but it will become a very long session. Reason why I have not covered them. If in future, if I get an opportunity to present you all guys, I will cover those also. Okay. As our current project is a tunnel project, we are constructing the widest tunnel in Maharashtra. It is a twin tube tunnel, and total length of the tunnel is about 16.4 kilometer. So this is a representation of 4D simulation of a tunneling project. This is not for our project, some other project. This project is done by TBMs. So while you are using TBMs, the lining work will be a precast segment. So how the precast segment need to be casted based on the site condition requirement, you can find it out based on like this the kind of simulation. I am playing this simulation. You can watch this. See, these all yellow, red, purple color indicating some work in progress or completed. Like green is indicating work in progress, blue completed, red critical. So likewise, the color scheme can also show the various like aspects, and this is how it is going. Like currently I am in some week, like my week 19. So on week 19, I need to complete this much number of segments. On week 20, I need to cover this segment. All those things are there. Okay, so I will play it further so you can see a complete video. Like for various week, I need to complete this much program. It's indicating cost part. I have like kept hidden here. I'm just showing the time scheduling, real-time time scheduling. Okay, so moving towards our next part. Now BIM softwares. Which BIM softwares one should use when he is currently working on a BIM project? For our project, Samruddhi Expressway, currently we are using these softwares for our building information modeling purpose. We are using Revit, Navisworks for Revit for like preparing the model. Okay, 3D architectural model, structural model. Along with Revit, we are using InfraWorks. There is a software named as InfraWorks for our viaduct and road part. We are using that. Then for detecting the clashes, we are using Navisworks. Then Synchro software, it is provided by Bentley. As Autodesk is running behind BIM, the second in line is Bentley. Bentley is working very well towards BIM, and in coming like 5-6 years, Bentley will be the finest BIM provider all over the world, because Bentley is innovating. Autodesk has like stopped innovating a little bit. It is lagging somewhere, but Bentley is working very, very well. So I suggest one should learn Synchro software. Okay, because Synchro can cover up to 4D aspect of BIM, and it can generate EVMs, unvalue analysis, and S-curves, all those details. But 5D cost simulation is not possible in Synchro, but they are working, and soon they will be adding that feature also. Now you have prepared the models, you need a schedule. So Primavera, we are using Primavera for preparing the schedule. Now what about CDE, common data environment? So we are using project wise and asset wise, Bentley's project wise and asset wise, along with SAP for controlling our like data sharing and costing aspect. Along with that, we are proposing to use Vico Office for certain aspects of our project. Okay, so I have just compared the flagship softwares available in the market based on their functions. So this is Navisworks provided by Autodesk, their finest software for 4D. Synchro provided by Bentley, finest software for Bentley's finest software for 4D, and Vico Office, Vico. Okay, so 4D simulation possible in all of them. Clash detection again possible in all of them, but the clash detection of Navisworks is finest. Also, there is a software available in market for like performing this. You might not be knowing, so I may not discuss that software here. So again, for baseline program creation, Synchro can create program, Vico Office can create, but in Navisworks, it is just an option, but it is a very tedious process to prepare a baseline program using Navisworks. Gantt charts can be prepared using three of them. Critical path, again, Navisworks cannot show you the critical path elements, but as you have seen in the simulation part, the red color, green color, yellow color, those were critical paths, non-critical, subcritical, supercritical, based on my assignments. So Synchro is capable of showing them in simulation also. Weaker can also do. Monthly material requirement, we can generate the monthly material requirement based on our construction 4D real-time estimates using Synchro and VK Office. Monthly resource requirement, we can generate the monthly progress report once I have updated my Primavera program. So based on that Primavera program, my model will also get updated. So based on that, I can generate my monthly progress report. The progress report will be covering all the quantities, all the cost, all the turnovers incurred while executing the work up to that date. Then schedule forecasting according to real progress. We can check our critical activities are well on path or not using Synchro and Vico Office. Project cost detail and summary, on value analysis, and cash flow and costing capabilities. So in my opinion, Synchro is finest, Vico is second in line, then Navisworks. But all of the, what is the beauty of building information modeling process is you can prepare the model in Revit, perform clash detection in Navisworks, conduct 4D in Synchro, conduct 5D in Vico, conduct 7D in Green Building Studio. So interportability is there. So you can move from one software to another software. What only the problem is, you need to purchase all those software. This is one of the reason why BIM is lagging, because at the beginning and for a small scale project, it is very costly. If you are using the pirated version, that is not industrial practice, because there are like issues. If you are using pirated versions, I may not promote pirated versions. There are student version available for Synchro and Navisworks and all Autodesk software. For Vico, they offer the student version based on a like telephonic discussion and email conversations, but it is not easily available. But for Synchro, Navisworks and Autodesk, student versions are available. So you can take the student version and study and learn about those software, but don't download the pirated version of all those software. Because if you are a BIM enthusiast and if you want to promote BIM, you should promote taking the license version. Due to this, our industry will grow. Pirating will destroy our industry. So I am not like promoting, or I am not like suggesting you to download a pirated version. Also, there are very potential risks while downloading the pirated versions. Your details might get leaked. Okay, so avoid them. Then this is the contractual condition. Why I have included this slide, I just want to show you how much seriousness Indian government is taking towards BIM. In our project, this is the contractual condition for implementation BIM. What are the important condition? We need to prepare daily basis progress in BIM, not general daily progress report. In BIM, we need to prepare. We need to develop high level BIM strategic document and execution plan. Our bill will be approved based on BIM. Then again, there is a penalty clause if we are not implementing BIM. So it is up to 0.01% per day, which is a very huge amount. So government is taking them seriously. Then coming towards our like conclusion, as I said, my session will be about like 40-45 minutes. So already I have taken my time. So I'll moving towards my conclusion. So in conclusion from the owner side, because in construction industry, there are like some good practices, some bad practices. So I am just considering the owner side and concluding my session. From owner aspects, BIM will reduce the documentation error and omission up to 61%. Previously, the fragmentation was there. Every detail were fragmented. Designs were other reports were there for design, drawings were different, specification, information, quantities, schedules, all were different documents. But in BIM model, information model, you can attach all those details to the model itself. So if after 10 years, 20 years, I need some details, or for arbitrations or any conflict resolution, I need any details, so I can directly extract those details from the model itself. Also, there are like extra items. Many conflicts in the construction industry arises due to the extra item. But if I have provided all the details in the model itself initially, no one can claim that this was not included in the model. If it is not included, it will directly reflect, and the proceedings for like getting the claims will be very much short. In like 2-3 proceedings, one can get the award if all details are clear. Currently, details are not clearly available. Due to this, the arbitration process are extended up to like 10 years, 12 years. So it is like that. Again, it reduces rework up to 36%. As I said, these are based on the surveys. These percentages are based on surveys. The paper which I am referring is a ASC general paper, which is a very highly reviewed paper. Okay, so they have considered like 100 projects, and they have conducted a questionnaire, and based on that they have derived these percentages. So reduce of rework due to clash detections and initial planning, the rework is reduced up to 36%. But in certain projects, there is a change of scope. So due to the change of scope, the rework or those things might come. But how to tackle them efficiently, BIM will also help you there. So some rework will also be there, but reworks due to omission and mistakes will be eliminated completely adopting BIM. Again, reduce cost of construction. How it reduces cost of construction? As I said, BIM are capable for generating the monthly, daily material and resource requirements. So inventory management, by managing the inventory, because in a construction project, the material cost will be a larger percent compared to the total cost of the project. So we can manage the inventory well based on our 4D time simulations, and we can reduce the wastage also due to rework, due to which the cost will reduce. Then reduce in project duration, as the conflicts during the execution of project will get reduced up to a very large extent, due to which we are able to deliver the project on time. Currently in India, the projects, if I consider all the projects in India, the projects are delaying up to 180% of its initial time. That means more than like 80 or 60% of the Indian projects are always get delayed. So BIM is very much essential in our Indian industry to save the cost, and due to which infrastructure industry will get enhanced, because those all the cost which was incurred due to the mistakes and all those things will be saved, and it can be invested by governments in other projects. Okay, and fewer claims and litigations, this aspect I have already covered. Then what are the pros and what are the cons? For every technology there are pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages, but we need to check, is the advantages is greater than that of disadvantages? Because if I am taking certain medicine also, there are certain side effects, but doctors check the side effects level, if it is within a permissible limit or it exceeds a permissible limit. Because if it is under the permissibility limit, we can adopt it. Likewise, BIM is also there. So better planning and designing, then fewer reworks is there, saving of material, and support for prefabrication. As I said, fabrication and assembly details. If any one of you are working on construction side, getting the support for prefabrication and any structural steel fabrication on all those steel it is very like difficult and not clear. But in a BIM model, all those details are very much clear. So prefabrication and fabrication process will get like very much support due to this BIM process. Coming towards the disadvantages and cons of BIM, the first one, cost of software. As I said, BIM, if you are implementing on a small scale, you need to purchase Revit or any other software. Consider Revit. You need Revit software, a Revit modeler, and a BIM coordinator, then a common data environment. So purchasing all those software will incur a cost. But if you consider this cost and this cost, there is a huge saving. So it is not a exact con, but considering developing countries like India, where our GDP growth is not such that so that we can invest in infrastructure, this is can be considered. Lack of expertise in India, we are like currently not moving from our conventional CAD based process to BIM processes. So we have not yet developed the expertise compared to the flagship owners like Germany, UK, US. So we are lacking in expertise and we need more people for these things. Okay, no guidelines in India. For me, this is the biggest headache because I am a BIM coordinator, and for preparing anything related to BIM for my project, I need to check various standards like UK standards, US standards, German standards, and based on them I may find, because Indian construction industry is completely different from UK or US. So I need to check which is the finest applicable for my construction industry, that I need to adopt. Due to this, I need to read a lot of document and read lot of articles and do trial and errors and find like exact way. So I am developing ways my own on my own, and many of our like BIM consultant in India, which are Indian built, not supported by like WSP or others like V Construct is there. Its parental company is somewhere based in US, so they are supporting them with like all those standards. But the companies which are based in India, like India BIM Association or BIM Engineers in India or Texture, so all those companies are developing everything like on their own. So it is very difficult. Government should come with some guidelines which will help us to execute this BIM process in an efficient manner. Although there are few ISO guidelines, ISO 19650, ISO BIM standards, which is helping a lot. You should read ISO BIM standard 19650. There is a very good course available on LinkedIn on ISO BIM standards. If you, any one of you are interested to learn that, or if you want to learn anything related to BIM, I am available there. I conduct sessions on Sundays for all you guys where I can share courses with you and knowledge, and I can clear your doubts. So connect with me on LinkedIn so I can share all those courses with you. Okay. The last disadvantages is incompatibility with the partners. Incompatibility with the partners. It arises from this. As there are no guidelines, most of the partners or stakeholders involved in the industry are not like want to work on BIM. Most of them still want to work on CAD and conventional processes. So there is an incompatibility. If government come up with some guidelines, the incompatibility will completely gone. Okay. So I think this is it for today. So I have completed my session. This is Q&A time. So any one of you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, I am available here. Just comment, because if all of you start your mic, it will be very difficult for me. I am watching the live stream also here, so I can read all your comments. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing such a informative knowledge.
Okay.
There are some questions of participant. I'm reading those. First question: can beam with level 3 use as substitutes for
Can be
MSP
used as
as
a,
lean is presently. Hello?
sorry sir, I am not able to hear you properly. Can you please
Okay,
repeat
sir.
it?
Can BIM with level 3 used as substitute for MSP as lean is presently using with BIM?
See, whoever may have asked this, you are confusing with the BIM process. MSP is a scheduling software. It is not at all part of a BIM. Level 3 is a maturity level of BIM. It shows up to what technical specification the BIM industry has grown. So there is no relation between MSP and level 3 BIM. In level 3 BIM, if you want to attach your schedule with your model, then you need a schedule which can be prepared using MSP. That's it. There is no relation with Microsoft project. Next point what you have asked is lean. The lean aspect. What is the lean aspect? We compare in general, if I say like in layman's language, we compare 2-3 substitute and find out which is most efficient in terms of sustainability, in terms of cost, in terms of innovation. So in BIM, you can simulate 2-3 models, consider same models with different aspects, and based on that you can like find out which one is most suitable for to you, and this is what the lean aspect is. Okay, so I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, sir. Next question is level of development is 100 to 500 range or it will be more?
See, as I said, we referred UK standard, US standard, and German standard. LOD, which I have explained to you, is derived in US. Why I am taking LOD specification? Because there are many guidelines available. There are many agencies, government agencies in US who are working for developing those standards. If you refer UK standards, you will find LOI, level of information, and those LOI are range from 1 to 7. Sometimes it may go up to higher, up to 10, based on the like requirement of the project. So for LOD, it is only up to 500. But if you refer other standards, those LODs only will be distributed again part by part, sub part, and they will be distributed in more number of detail lining. But for currently, what India industry is adopting is LOD system, and there are 6 from 100 to 500, 100, 200, 300, 350, 400, 500. That's it. If you want to read more about it, visit LOD Forum's website. Okay, I think I have answered this question also.
Okay, sir. Next question is BIM is carried out by all the government and private companies in India for constructing. Is it compulsory or adopted by choice of individual companies?
See, currently the situation of BIM is like it is very new in Indian construction industry. Most of the people is still learning about BIM, but governments like some of the government agencies, state government agencies, if I say Pune Metro, Nagpur Metro Development Authority, Maharashtra State Road Development Authority, NHI, these agencies, because their involvement are like directly or indirectly is linked with our one of the finest minister Nitin Gadkari. He is very much like impressed with BIM technology, so wherever he is involved, he is suggesting the governments to implement BIM. Reason why in our projects also it is mandatory to implement 5D BIM, but in many residential projects or building projects, people are using BIM voluntarily because there are various advantages for BIM. In real estate industry, you can simulate the walkthrough, what I have shown, which is will be very helpful when you are like sales guy or real estate industry are dependent or like developing and selling that. So it will be helpful likewise, but it is still not mandatory in BIM in India. In certain countries like US, it is mandatory for all infrastructure projects. Soon, there are suggestions and discussions are going on. Soon in India also, for all infrastructure projects, BIM will be mandatory. But according to me, it will take again like 4 to 5 years at least. Okay, this question is also, I think, answered. Hello. I am unable to hear you, sir. Sorry, sir, I am unable to hear you. Hello. Hello. Sir, I think there is need to reconnect or something
Hello.
like that.
Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I?
Sir, will you
Can I
please
add
type the question in the comment box, this chat box, because I am unable to hear you.
Okay, sir.
By then you type, I will just check the LinkedIn, YouTube live chats. Okay. So that if any question is there
Okay,
unanswered,
sir, I am
I will.
continuing with the questions.
What do you say? Sorry, sir.
I am continuing with the questions.
Okay. Okay.
The fifth one is Microsoft Office also important to be learned being a civil engineer?
In civil engineering.
Yeah.
Okay. See, civil engineering, while we are in our college or institutes, we are learning about all the technical aspects, from calculating like bending moments, or analyzing the structures, or considering the materials. Everything is there, but we need to document them, represent them, find out the cost aspect. All those necessary operations we need to perform and then need to be documented. And Microsoft Office is the finest tool available out there for doing this. I think, like, in all companies all over the India, Excel is used for one or other purpose. Likewise, Microsoft Word is used for preparing the document. Microsoft Team is being used for sharing. Microsoft Project is used for creating schedules. So likewise, every aspect of MS Office is used anywhere. So one civil engineer should learn Microsoft Office, and Excel he should learn in detail, because the budget which we are preparing in our construction site is totally prepared, still being prepared using Excel. Okay.
The next question is what is the scope for students or professional of BEAM as a career in India?
Okay. So what is the scope? See, currently many big players. Who are the big players? L&T is one of the big players, have established a business unit. You might have seen that L&T has various wings. They work for defense, they work for infrastructure, they work for real estate, IT industry. Likewise, L&T has developed a separate unit for building information modeling. Have you ever heard about Amarnath CB? He is the currently head of that unit. So based on that, you can imagine the companies are coming up with a business unit, complete business unit, who will be working on BIM. So it is very necessary. If you want to work on BIM, you need to gain knowledge, and you can get job based on only based on BIM. But you need a background of engineering to understand all those aspects. For civil engineering, architectural and structural aspect, you need civil engineering. MEP and HVAC aspect, electrical and mechanical engineering. Likewise, architectural people can come join for architectural aspects. So all those things are there. So there is a huge scope for employment. Then again, for professors and college peoples, see, you will be teaching the students, then they will be learning, implementing. Like previously in our Indian industry, in Indian colleges, we have started teaching AutoCAD mandatorily. Then after 20 or 30 years, now we can see in every construction project in India, AutoCAD is somehow is applicable. Previously, all drawings were made using the drafter and on the papers. But when we started teaching the people about AutoCAD, they learned it, and when they joined the industry, they have started implementing it. So it is a long process. So there is a scope for everyone: teachers, professors, students, employees, everyone. Okay, next question, please.
The next question is if we learn BIM application in construction industry, we don't need any other software for that.
See, the guy who has asking this question, he might have missed my initial portion of this presentation. I would suggest him to just go back, because this live stream will be available on the YouTube, just go back and from the beginning you see it again. I said BIM is a process. BIM is not at all a software. There are various software on BIM platform. So BIM software learning, BIM platform software you need to learn. So it is like that. Okay,
The
sir.
last
Next question.
is
Just a minute.
is
Just a
okay,
minute.
okay.
Yeah, sir. Please.
Okay, the last one is ArchiCAD also useful in
ArchiCAD person useful in?
BIM technology?
See, there are various like agencies who develop softwares. So there are Grasshopper. As I said, Navis work is there. One of the software is also there named as Grasshopper. Rhino is also there. So ArchiCAD is also one of the software which is there. As ArchiCAD is related to one of the agency who is a BIM enabler. So they have also included some aspects of BIM in ArchiCAD's latest version. So somehow it will be useful for the project where it is only implemented up to 3D BIM. So ArchiCAD can be applicable there. Next, sir.
So this was all about the question session. This was a very informative session, especially for the industry professional and for the freshers and the students. And I got the chance to meet Dr. Madhvi Lata. She is professor in ISC Bangalore. She had designed that Chenab project you were talking about. So
Yes.
a student can go through her link also to know more about that project. She has designed the foundation part.
If
So
you
I
just
would
like,
like, yeah,
if you just enable my screen sharing, I just want to show my like connection page to them all guys so that they can connect with me. Will you please enable it?
wait. It is enabled, sir.
So is my screen is visible to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey, wait a minute, just. Yeah. So this is my like this is my LinkedIn ID. You can connect all of you, all those who are watching our like YouTube or this Zoom video calling session. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my profile. I will share the profile like in comment section also of this chat and also on YouTube. So you can click on that link and you can visit my profile and you can connect with me. And if you have any doubts other than this session also, we can discuss. Okay. So this is my profile. Do connect with me. Yeah, sir. Okay, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello. I
Okay,
think
sir. I
it's
think we should
I
conclude
think
this
soon, sir.
session.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Uh, Thanks for your webinar, sir. And I think soon, sir, lost his connection. So, on behalf of him, I am concluding this session. Ashwini, sir, is there or no? Okay, sir. Thank you for your valuable time.
Yeah. I hope I have cleared doubts of everyone. If anyone have a question, you can directly message me on LinkedIn. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for allowing me to present before this much audience. This was a very good session. Thank you all. Okay.